Good morning. Our topic today is the topic of prayer. And usually when you say prayer, people get very nervous because they're not sure if there's a special way of doing it, special words they need to say. But whenever I think about prayer, I think of my nanny, and she would always tell me that prayer was just a chance for us to listen to God and then to talk to God and tell him what we were thinking. Now you might think, well, how can I listen to God? Well, he has made it fairly easy because we can listen to God by reading what he says in his word. That is how he speaks to us. And then he just wants us to respond to him and tell him how we're feeling and what we're suffering and what our hopes are, and just communicate with him. It's not really that difficult. Even though sometimes it can seem like it is. Now, there are 4 things that Packer talks about in this chapter about prayer that he says are a part of our communicating with God. The first one is adoration and praise. The second is confession. The third is thanksgiving. And the fourth is petitioning God. Now, those words, you might think, oh, so I have to kind of walk through those 4 things every time I pray. But as I was thinking through this, I thought this is not that much different than any relationship we have, really. Because when we have a relationship, let's say with our spouse or a friend, we do tell them things about themselves that we like. I mean, I know I like hearing that. If someone says, Gina, I really like this about you, that's encouraging to me. And so it's a chance for us, just like we do with our spouse or a friend, to just tell God what we appreciate about him. Not really for his benefit, but for our benefit. It reminds us of what a wonderful God it is we serve. And then secondly, confessing sin. This isn't that unusual either. You can't be in a relationship for more than, a couple of hours before you might say or do something that might offend the other person or hurt them. And in order to heal that relationship and keep it, going in the right direction, we have to be willing to confess those things to that person and ask them for their forgiveness. And that's what God tells us to do with him, because he wants to have that good relationship with us. The third one is thanksgiving. And certainly we do this with each other. We thank each other for things that we've done for each other. And so it's a very natural thing to say thank you to God for what he has done for us. And then finally, petitions. And you might think, well, this is a little different. But it isn't really, because in a friendship, you might ask that friend for help with something. You might ask them for, care for yourself or for other people. And that's what we do with God. So really, I hope you can see that prayer is not that much different than our communication with another person, except for one very significant thing. We have the privilege of communicating and listening to, and then responding back to the God who created the universe. And that is just an amazing thing, that he really wants us to talk to him and be real with him and tell him how we're feeling and ask him questions and ask him for his help. And so I hope today that as you think about prayer, that some of the fear around it, some of the pressure that you feel around prayer, maybe will be removed, and you will feel a sense of freedom to just enjoy communicating with the God who loves you so much.